this is the only state in which Darren Sharper has had co-defendants. I'd like to turn to that for a moment. The cases against former St. Bernard Sheriff Deputy Brandon Lashardi and Eric Nunez of Metairie are still pending here. Can you detail what you see as their involvement in the New Orleans cases?
Well, again, those are open cases, and I'd prefer not to talk about those cases until those matters are resolved. Mr. Sharper has also agreed to cooperate, and that too is extremely important to us. Not only does he accept responsibility for what has happened and what he did, but he also is willing to talk to authorities, law enforcement officials in the state of Louisiana, and most particularly, most importantly to me. He's willing to talk to us about his participation, about his involvement, and about the participation and involvement of others, which would facilitate and help us in our prosecutions in the other cases. The cases in Arizona, California, and Nevada are basically closed. Those cases are closed with the plea of Mr. Sharper. However, here we're going to expect that he continue to cooperate and participate in the prosecution of these other individuals. Now, in the event that Mr. Sharper opts not to do that, in the event he opts to not cooperate or not participate in the state of Louisiana, we have the right to either withdraw the plea of guilty that he has entered into and go to trial on the aggravated rape charges, the 2 counts of aggravated rape, in which he is facing a life sentence, or we can ask the judge that she impose the 20-year sentence under the pleas to forcible rape, that those sentences be made executory in Louisiana, which means he would not return to California after he finishes the federal sentence, but rather he would be sent to the Louisiana Department of Corrections to serve the balance of the 20 years, and he would be required to serve a full 20 years under the laws of the state of Louisiana. In addition to that, should Mr. Sharper at any time give false testimony or lie in any way, in other words, if he were to commit what we believe was perjury, we would have the right to prosecute him under the perjury laws for the state of Louisiana. And under a perjury conviction for a charge of this sort, Mr. Sharper would again be looking at a potential life sentence. So the consequences are very, very great for him. This is something we have thought very long and very hard about. It is designed certainly to put him in jail for a significant period of time. There are parole obligations that he will be on for the rest of his life. And again, he would go to jail for the full 20 years in the event he fails to cooperate, or if in any event he lies during that period of cooperation.
How important was it for you to get that provision that a Louisiana judge will be the one who's given sole discretion to decide whether he is complying with his agreement and cooperating in the other cases as is required?
Well, I think that's certainly it's the basis of the plea here. We're certainly interested in the plea, but we want to have an opportunity to talk to him. We want a fair exchange, and we want an honest exchange of information from him. So that's extremely important. And if in the event he does not do that, we are prepared to go in front of the judge, explain to the judge why it is that he is not being honest, what he is not being honest about, and the consequences. Rather than us make that decision on our own, or some other law enforcement official or his lawyers, we said, let's let the judge make the decision. The judge had to agree with this plea agreement in order for it to take place. And if she had not, then there would have been no plea. So by the fact that the judge agreed with this, she's willing to sort of sit as the referee, so to speak, and decide in the event we believe he is not being candid, or if we believe he is not cooperating, then she is going to be the one that will ultimately make the decision.